everyone, welcome back to the Avalaunch GameFi channel. This is Zach, also known as Trading Aloha on Twitter, and today we're going to take a look at the Dragon Crypto Gaming release of The Legend of Aram Draconis. There's currently an IDO registration going on the Avalaunch platform that opened today and is open for the next 4.5 days, where you can register to get the DCAR token, which is the second of a 2-token system used by Dragon Crypto Gaming. So first, what we're going to talk about is what it is. What is Dragon Crypto Gaming? The goal is to provide a vintage gaming experience on the blockchain that's inspired by some of the old classic RPG style games that I grew up with. Most of them were text-based on the computer, but it also combines other aspects of games like Fallout, World of Warcraft, where there's an in-game ecosystem where you can buy, sell, and trade NFT, equipment, weapons, pretty much anything you can think of that will be available to equip on your character. Will also be able to be sold on the secondary market as well as found in the game. So it's incredibly interesting to throw this kind of aspect onto the current GameFi ecosystem that we currently have. A lot of us are familiar with the way GameFi used to be last year, where everything was kind of like it was just really a yield farming clone with a couple of clicks involved every couple hours. Dragon Crypto Gaming takes that a step further and makes it it kind of choose your own adventure type game where the opportunities are endless as far as what you can do, where you can explore, and how you can create, mold, and build your characters and heroes as you progress through the realm. So they have had success in the past. They previously launched a game called Tiny Dragons, which you may be familiar with if you're an old AVAX maxi, where there was 1,000 of those NFTs minted in September of 2021. They sold out incredibly quickly. They were very, very successful. They had arenas where you can get prizes, and it was a great game. They're little adorable NFTs that were fun to play with and fun to use. If you still happen to have your Tiny Dragon, these actually will play a role, from what I'm told, in the game itself in the future when they kind of introduce those back into being imported into the world of Aram Draconis. So something to keep in mind if you do have some Tiny Dragons stashed in your wallet somewhere. I'd hang on to them. I'm still looking to pick up a few myself. But back to kind of the main game here that we're going to talk about. If you go to dragoncrypto.io/links, you'll see the Dragon Crypto Gaming team has put together really a great quick reference guide of anything you need to know about the platform, the white paper, the game itself. You can go check out Tiny Dragons. You can check out the market cap, join their Discord. They're incredibly active on their Discord all the time, interacting with both the players, testers, the developers are on there, the whole team's on there. It's fantastic. Their Twitter's got some great updates as far as latest game releases, what's coming in the future. They just released a great rundown of how crafting is going to work. There was a lot of confusion in the beta version about crafting, and they've heard that, and they've done a lot of development on how that's going to look in the future, which I think is going to be very interesting. Their Medium, again, their YouTube, which they just did a 10-part series. Pretty much every day or every other day, they release a new video discussing in depth, the changes that were made, how the game works, exactly what's going on behind the scenes, and what's to come. I think all the information they've done is fantastic, and it's one of the best launches I've seen in a long time as far as interaction and dedication to kind of showing exactly what's coming up. And then they've got Reddit, Telegram, and then the one pager that kind of breaks down everything from tokenomics to what the difference is between the two tokens. And we'll talk about all that as well. But first you kind of come over to the white paper. I advise everybody who's interested to read this, read it again, and then probably read it one more time, just so you have the chance to kind of really fully digest exactly what the team's getting after. They do a good job of discussing how the mint process works. Currently, they are completely sold out of NFTs. They do that in order to cap the supply and make sure that they've got the right amount of players and the ecosystem doesn't get out of control. They will release them periodically, so you just have to stay up to date on when the next releases of the upcoming mint. So just keep an eye on all those mediums and socials to make sure that you're aware of those. In the meantime, however, you can buy a already minted NFT on NF Trade if you want to get involved. Up until this morning, you had to have one of the Genesis Edition NFTs to be able to play the beta version. But as of this morning, they opened it up to the Corruption series as well, which is their second series of heroes they minted, which is roughly about 2,100 heroes, I believe now. So any of the heroes that you buy on NF Trade are eligible to play in the beta. So you can get one of those over on NF Trade. You can see there's currently about 235 listed. The price is not that bad, 1.2 AVAX, which is actually under the mint price. The mint price is an interesting, the way the team approached this, so there's no fluctuation and worrying about how much it's going to be when there's another release. The mint is done in DCAU, which is their first token that's currently available for trading. It is going to be pegged to $100 per mint. So regardless of the price of DCAU, you'll just need $100 to mint one of those heroes. And then you can jump right in the game. If you don't want to wait for the next release, which we don't know when that is yet, you can jump over to NF Trade and grab any of these heroes, and you can jump straight in the game. And there's some benefits and differences between the different ranks and apprentices. Ranks for Apprentice, Grandmaster, Legendary, Master, and Neophyte. The Corruption is the second release that they did, and the Genesis is the first NFTs that they released. From what I understand, there's no difference between Corruption and Genesis now. The only difference is going forward in the future that the Genesis series may receive additional airdrops of certain tokens. How much and when that will be, I don't know. But that's just something to keep in mind if you're making a decision there. And then when you look at ranks, basically when you start with a hero that's level 1, you get a certain amount of stat points that we'll talk about that you can distribute through a variety of strength, defense, luck, speed, pretty much all stat categories you can think of. And it starts with, if you're an apprentice, you only get 10, or a neophyte, you only get 10, an apprentice, you get 20, and then it goes up 30, 40, 50. So if you're going to pay up to kind of get those extra stats and be able to beat some of the monsters out in the plains, and you don't want to have to deal with getting your hero killed a bunch of times, and you don't mind paying up, it's probably not a bad idea to grab a legendary or a grandmaster and just have that leg up so you're not struggling through leveling up on certain areas. But going back to the game itself, you come to the homepage, which is DragonCrypto.io, and you can go from there. You can either jump straight into the game with just hitting play game. You can find out more, which will take you right back to kind of the quick links. Or you can watch the trailer, and you can scroll down and you can see, the website's really well put together. It gives you, a rundown of the game itself. You can jump into Tiny Dragons and see what that's all about. You can scroll down further and see who their partners and supporters are, some of the big names that have backed the launches in the game itself. And then the quick join Discord, which I highly recommend you do if you want to learn more about the game, because the team is completely accessible at all times of the day. I know I live in the weird time zone in Hawaii, and every time I ask a question in general, they're always within minutes there to answer somebody. So it's been great to have that level of interaction with the team. So let's just jump into the game real quick now that we've kind of touched on where to get your heroes on NF Trade. Once you have them in your wallet, all you got to do is jump in and click play game. It will ask you for one quick signature. The music will start playing, which I will turn down for now so y'all can hear everything. So here is the basics of the game itself. So you jump in the game right now. You're dumped into the main map where you can see certain areas that you can visit and interact with. Some of the places like the Deadlands are closed right now because we're still in beta. You have Search the Plains, which is where you'll do all of kind of your foraging, your combat, leveling up, and looking for things there. You have the Healer's Hut, which if you get killed in the plains or elsewhere, you can get resurrected for a cost in DCAU. And then the Deepwood, which just opened up in one of their recent releases in the beta. This is where you'll find different crafting materials like cotton, wood, and experience for gathering those as well to help you level your character up. Come over to the main town. You've got a bunch of different options that you can do. You have an inventory stash. You've got the Crafters Guild, which isn't currently open yet, but once it is, you'll be able to take those items from the Deepwood and elsewhere and craft some of those items into weapons or armor or something useful in the future. You've got the bank where you can do a lot of your deposits and store all sorts of your financial items here. The Wild Boar Inn, which is where you'll rest when you run out of turns. Right now in the beta, you kind of got unlimited turns. You can get 10 per day usually. However, right now you can just rent a room and restore your health or your turns back to 10 and do it over and over and over again without really costing anything. But it will cost 0.5 DCAU once the game launches to reset your turns, unless you want to wait the full time. The marketplace, which is an interesting way. If you jump in the game right now, you can see people have started to sell certain items in the marketplace that you can use to kind of get a leg up on not having to go and find things. So right now it'll show you that you have 85 DCAU in your inventory. This is in beta, so you can use as much as you like. It's not actual tokens. You don't have them in your wallet, you can run them to zero. It's infinite. So if you just want to kind of play the game and get a feel for it, I'd advise, just jumping in, grabbing some armor, a weapon, and taking it out into the plains to help you explore and fight. So you're not having to deal with getting attacked. But you can sell things, whatever you want. You just click on it, click sell, set your own price in DCAU, and then anyone can come in and buy it. So you can see the different wallets here that have listed stuff for sale, and you can sort it by armor, weapons, whatever's available. They just did a reset of the beta, so there's not a whole lot in the marketplace, but yesterday there was quite a few pages of items that people found. The Forge is another place that you can go to create, if you have the right materials like smelted bars, you can use that to create things if you have the blueprints for it, which I do not have at the moment. So just click leave. So right now, the only accessible places are the Wild Boar Inn, the marketplace, and the Forge, and your stash as far as the town goes. So if you jump into the Wild Boar Inn, you can see getting a room for 0.5 DCAU. This will basically just refresh your turns and your health. So once we see out in battle, when we start losing health and turns, we can just pop back in here. It only costs 0.5 DCAU to go back to 100% health and 10 turns, which is actually much cheaper than getting killed and resurrected at the healer's hut, which costs 2 DCAU. So much cheaper to go this way. You can change the song, and then there will be in the future this back room, which will have some sort of like mini games or gambling of some sort, but currently isn't active. And then you leave just to go back to the town. So on to the, kind of how do you level up your character? So I left mine kind of around level 1 just to kind of show you exactly, what you can do out here in the world. So you can search the mines, but unfortunately you have to, as you can see, the tooltip says you need a pickaxe, which I do not have. So I'm still working my way to try to find one of those to demonstrate what that does. But you can check that out if you end up having a pickaxe. Other tooltips on the main screen, you kind of got your inventory, with what you have available. You've got in the bottom left hand corner the music that you can turn off and on. You have a chat box, which I found interesting, that kind of chats with other people that are online right now. You can see that about 8 hours ago they just refreshed the beta. They also added in a day and night, so if you come in here in the middle of the night on server time, this will all be black. Just interesting way to add a little bit of different feel to the game, which I enjoyed. They ran through a lot of bugs about 4 hours ago. As you can see, I jumped in here, was having issues, opened the chat, saw other people are having issues, jumped over to the Discord, asked a question, and they were right there saying, yeah, we're still working on stuff. It was a huge update. And within 2 hours, they had already fixed a huge issue. So I think that was fantastic from identification from players in game. Back to the developers, and the developers fixing it in 2 hours was a great thing to see. And then about an hour ago, everything was working smooth, so which is great because I wanted to record this video and get it out today, which came at a perfect time. So So what's next? So you see, the main thing here of the game is searching the plains. So you hit search the plains, it searches around to try to find something. Occasionally you'll get the issues with the bug. It looks like it may have gotten stuck, unfortunately, even though I just did this like 16 times. Sometimes I just get unlucky and it freezes. So we will just go ahead and refresh. And we should be able to jump right back into it. All right, so they just introduced this as of a couple days ago. It was just a text-based kind of turn thing that showed you exactly what was going on within the battle. But now they've kind of got more of a graphical interface, which I like. You'll see, you found a battle with YouTube crypto trader, the Insufferable, which I find, I like some of the names here. They're all kind of crypto related. You'll see some of them that are pretty entertaining. They're going to start kind of drifting away from that, I think, and getting more towards traditional names as more encounters are introduced. But I just found it kind of humorous that they went that route for the first couple of iterations. And you can see the weapon he has is 1,000 shit coins you can retire off of in 2025. So hopefully we can beat that guy, because I don't think there's many shit coins I can retire off of anymore. So you basically are left with 3 options. You can jump into your combat bag and see what items you can possibly use, which I just have 1 little healing potion. You can run away, or you can fight with whatever weapons you have. And it shows you kind of your character stats and what you're lined up against. So I should be able to beat this guy pretty easily. I'll take 1 hit. You can see, I take a turn. Yeah, so we'll lose. I lost 6, he lost 73. This should be over rather quickly. And he is gone. So once you're done with that, it'll tell you the kind of a roll-up of the fight. So this used to be all you could see before. It would stay on the previous screen in the plains, and you would just see this text box, and it was kind of scroll until the battle was over and tell you what happened. So this kind of rolls that all up, and this is obviously not financial advice. So it's helping me gain 6 experience and also 0.0613, a bunch of other decimals of DCAU. So you do earn DCAU for pretty much all the battles you encounter. So a nice addition to kind of, how you slowly earn over time. And it becomes a point where, you're going to use how you use your 10 energy turns per day, and how much you earn if you avoid going to the healer's hut and getting killed and having to spend money to resurrect yourself. You could earn a little bit, and it's an interesting experiment to see how much you can earn in game, and then how much you might be able to earn selling things that you find in the field. So after you're done, you examine the loot, which you may be familiar with from other games like World of Warcraft. After you kill a mob, you can check the loot and see what they've got, and you can see exactly what you picked up, and then you just claim it to your inventory, and you are done. So now if you want to see if any of those items that you have kind of improve what you're currently wearing, you can pull up the character and loot box, and it shows you pretty much everything you're wearing and everything that you're using. And I think the one interesting thing that they did add, if you're highlighting an item that you're not currently using, you see in the blue over here, it says 13. So it's a 13 improvement over what you're currently using. So, I would obviously equip that, because it is much better than the terrible thing I was using before. And if there's no improvement, you can see it's a 0. So the pants I'm wearing are pretty much exactly the same. And I don't have a belt on, so I'm going to throw that on there. So that's in a nutshell kind of how you identify which equipment you have, which is the best one to use. And then you just X out of that, and you're right back into where you wanted to go before. So let's show an example real quick of up in the Deepwood. If you wanted to go see what you could find up there, you find a patch of cotton and you start harvesting, and basically it tells you this is how the fight sequences used to look before. What you did, what you used, how much you got, and how much experience. And you can keep doing that until your turn is done. So 3 turns and a bunch of experience. and gotten a bunch of cotton. All right, so it looks like I have harvested the entire cotton patch, which only took 1 turn, but gained quite a bit of experience, much more than the battle, which is great. So once that's done, if you keep searching, you'd see this turn go down to 6 because it would take a whole turn, or you can just leave and be done. The healer's hut, if you jump into here, you can basically refresh your whole character if you're just a little bit hurt. If you're dead and you get killed somewhere, you'll get transported back here and it'll say resurrect, and it'll be 2 DCAU to get your character back to life, or you can just leave there as well. Oh, and as you can see, now it is nighttime, which was a nice easy transition. The frame rate is solid. There's not much lag, which I do like to see. And then, the only other tooltip you've got going on is any notifications. It'll show you kind of everything you've done since you logged in during the session if you scroll up. And you are good to go there. And that is really all the tooltips that you need to know. You can carry up to 5 characters in the game at any given time. So if you've got characters that are stronger than others and you want to fight with a different character or level somebody else up, all you gotta do is pop into there. If I had more, they would all be displayed here. You just select which one you want, confirm, and it drops you right back in the game. So it's really seamless. I had 2 earlier in the day until someone scooped mine off the floor because I was trying to get a higher class. So I'm back down to 1. But yeah, it's seamless and it works great. So we'll just do one more night fight and see which we got. Run into a giant spider. We'll just do one quick example, and I one-shotted him, so that was fun. Then got goo everywhere. And some good healing potions, and we'll take it all. And then equip it, because I don't think I have gloves. Perfect. So, and that's really it in the beta version for now. I think that there's a lot that is still to come from the team itself. They have been extremely helpful as far as identifying, what the future holds for the game. Just in the last release, as kind of highlighted earlier, they're going to open the Crafters Guilds very soon. They updated the combat systems. The speed optimization, the map was a lot slower and a lot buggier a couple days ago, and they've already improved that based on the feedback. They've done a lot of combat and bonus tweaks to some of the damages. Before, when you got to level 2, it was tough. The mobs that you fought were able to kill you quite easily. So they've done some adjustments there. And then the biggest ones is the opening up the beta to all the current NFTs that are available, both the Genesis and the Corruption series. So that's great to see. So now everyone can get involved, and it's really rather cheap to do so. I think the Genesis were going for somewhere around 4 or 5 AVAX over the past couple of weeks, and now with the opening of the Corruption series, you can get it. You can get it and test the game out for 1 to 2 AVAX, which I think is a great price point for anyone who's interested. And then again, so this all leads up to the actual launch of DCAR and the differences between the two. So as we've kind of talked about throughout the whole video, DCAU is the token that currently exists. It's tradable. It's used for the governance, the minting of new heroes for 100 DCAU, and it's used for everything in game from buying on the marketplace to resting your character. And it will be used in the future for bonding for DCAR. And now DCAR launch is currently in its launch phase over at Avalaunch. It's going to be their game reward token as well as for staking and crafting. It's going to be required for some of the crafting. So it's a great time to get some DCAR to get yourself a leg up, especially if you're going to be focusing on crafting materials, selling them in the marketplace, and earning that way, which I think is something we haven't seen as much on the GameFi side, where there's going to be a player controlled ecosystem based on what you find and the luck of finding it, and what you can craft and who becomes craft masters of certain items. So I'm very interested to see how the game theory plays out on that as well. There's also going to be land plots in the future. There's going to be questing that's involved. So one thing that isn't live yet is there will be kind of a whole different series of quests that you can do, which will just add more into the game itself. So I'm very excited to see what the team does with that. So hopefully this has been extremely helpful as far as kind of a once over the world on the Legend of Aram Draconis. I am very interested to keep playing. I am hooked on the beta. I can't wait for the game to launch and get some DCAR myself and see what the team can continue to do down the road. So if you have a chance and this has been helpful or interesting to you, please take a second, subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow me and Avalaunch over on Twitter. You can find me at Trading Aloha. I'm always available on DMs if you have a question. You can also hit me on Discord as well. I'm in pretty much all of the GameFi chats and channels, so much so that I get confused at times. So hopefully I see you all in there. But if this helps, if you need any advice on which hero is right for you, feel free to reach out as well, and I'll be happy to help.